Welcome back to my channel, All Old Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures and learning about rare US coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll reveal some of the most valuable coins that could be worth far more than you think. Stick around till the end, you won't want to miss what these rare gems are really worth. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to enjoy more discoveries in future. Let's dive in. We're diving into a coin that might just surprise you with its rarity and value. We're talking about the 1976 United States Liberty 1-cent coin, a piece of American history that not only marks a significant year for the nation but also holds potential for a stunning value in the world of coin collecting. At first glance, the 1976 penny might seem like any other ordinary coin you'd find in your pocket, but hold on. This one has a story and a value that will make you want to take a second look. Let's take a journey into the past and see why this coin, despite being widely circulated, can be worth far more than its face value. To begin, let's set the stage. The year 1976 was a monumental one for the United States. It marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, an event that forever changed the course of history and set the foundation for the nation we know today. The U.S. was celebrating its bicentennial year, and this was a time of great patriotism and national pride. The 1976 penny was minted as part of a larger commemoration of this milestone, but there's much more to this coin than just its historical context. The 1976 penny features the familiar design that has been used on the U.S. 1-cent coin for decades, the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, continues to be one of the most revered figures in American history, symbolizing unity, leadership, and the abolition of slavery. This image, designed by Victor D. Brenner, has appeared on the penny since 1909 and is iconic in the world of numismatics. But what sets the 1976 penny apart from the rest? It's not just the historical significance of the year or the image of Lincoln that makes this coin so interesting. The value of this particular penny largely comes down to its rarity, condition, and some key factors that many collectors might overlook. For starters, this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. In 1976, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in response to the increased demand for coinage in circulation. However, despite the large mintage numbers, the 1976 penny has become a rare find in excellent condition. Over time, many of these coins were circulated, leading to wear and tear. As a result, finding one that is in uncirculated or near mint condition is incredibly rare, and these coins are highly sought after by collectors. It's the condition of the coin that plays the biggest role in determining its value. A penny that has been heavily circulated over the years, dull, scratched, or worn down, may not fetch much more than its face value. However, if you happen to have a 1976 penny in uncirculated or mint condition, it can be worth significantly more. These coins, preserved carefully and kept free from damage, become much rarer as time goes on, and their value increases as they become harder to find. Now, what really makes this coin stand out to collectors is its scarcity in high-quality condition. The 1976 penny, due to its heavy circulation, was often used in everyday transactions, and many of these coins were subject to wear and damage. However, a select few have survived in pristine form. And as time goes on, the number of these uncirculated coins only shrinks, making them more desirable and valuable in the eyes of collectors. Another interesting aspect of the 1976 penny is its connection to the U.S. bicentennial celebrations. While this particular penny doesn't feature any special design elements or commemorative inscriptions like the quarter or half-dollar coins of 1976, it still carries the weight of being part of that historic year. Coins that were minted during this milestone often carry a special appeal to collectors who are interested in U.S. history, especially when they are in exceptional condition. Now let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for. What is this coin actually worth? Well, the value of the 1976 Liberty 1-cent coin is heavily dependent on its condition. For those lucky enough to have an uncirculated or near mint version of this coin, the value skyrockets. And here's the best part, the 1976 D penny in exceptional condition can be worth a whopping $80,000, yes, that's right, $80,000. For a single penny. It's truly incredible how a coin that was once worth just 1 cent can appreciate in value to such an extent. The rarity of the 1976 D penny in top condition, combined with its connection to American history, makes it an extremely valuable piece for collectors. If you happen to have a 1976 D penny in your collection or you come across one while going through some old coins, make sure to take a closer look. Don't just dismiss it as another regular penny. You might have a rare gem on your hands, and that seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a small fortune. So, next time you're going through your coin collection, or perhaps browsing through old coins at a garage sale or flea market, don't forget to keep an eye out for the 1976 D Liberty 1-cent coin. If you find one in mint or uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to an incredible treasure. Second rare coin, we're diving into a coin that has truly captured the attention of the numismatic world, the United States Liberty 1-cent coin from 1970. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about a penny from 1970? Well, let me tell you, this coin isn't just your ordinary penny. It holds a fascinating story, a historical significance, and, wait for it, a value that might just blow your mind. First, let's take a step back and look at what makes 1970 such an interesting year in American history. The country was going through a period of change. The late 1960s and early 1970s were marked by social movements, the Vietnam War, and cultural shifts. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins for circulation, including the penny, of course. But what was significant about the 1970 penny, and why has it become so coveted by collectors? To begin with, the design of the 1970 Liberty 1-cent coin is nothing new. It still carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln, who led the nation through one of its most turbulent times during the Civil War, continues to be one of the most recognized and revered figures in American history. His image, designed by Victor D. Brenner, has adorned the 1-cent coin since 1909, and it's still in use today. On the reverse side of the 1970 penny, you'll find the familiar design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. This iconic building, located in Washington, D.C., serves as a lasting tribute to Lincoln's leadership and the legacy he left behind. The memorial has appeared on the reverse of the penny since 1959, and it remains one of the most recognized landmarks in the United States. But while the design of the 1970 penny may seem typical, what makes this coin so special and valuable is the number of coins that were produced and the unique characteristics that set a select few apart from the rest. During the 1970s, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of pennies for circulation, and the 1970 penny was no exception. However, this is where things start to get interesting. In 1970, there was an unusual situation with the production of pennies. There was a significant shortage of copper in the United States, which led the mint to start producing pennies using a higher percentage of zinc. As a result, some of the 1970 pennies were struck with slightly different metallic compositions compared to other years. This change was relatively minor but still caught the attention of collectors over time. However, there's another reason why the 1970 penny is so special. While most of the 1970 pennies were struck in massive quantities and circulated extensively, a small number of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. These particular coins are especially sought after because they were not intended for circulation, and the U.S. Mint typically only produces coins with mint marks at the Denver Mint. This mint-markless variety of the 1970 penny is extremely rare and is what really sets this coin apart from its more common counterparts. These mint-markless 1970 pennies are among the most prized coins in the world of numismatics. Given that they were produced in smaller quantities, finding one of these coins in excellent or uncirculated condition is extremely rare. Over time, collectors have begun to notice the value of these specific coins increasing, and the demand for them has only grown as more people become aware of their rarity. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or someone interested in the value of coins? Well, if you happen to find a 1970 penny with no mint mark, and it's in exceptional condition, meaning it's well preserved, free from damage, and looks as though it just came from the mint, you might just have a rare and valuable treasure on your hands. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. As we've mentioned, the 1970 penny was widely circulated, and most of these coins have been subject to years of wear and damage. However, the value of the mint-markless 1970 penny in uncirculated condition is what makes it so highly sought after by collectors. A coin that is in pristine, like new condition is much rarer, and its value increases accordingly. In fact, for those lucky enough to own a 1970 penny without a mint mark in top condition, you could be looking at a jaw-dropping value. This particular penny could be worth as much as $95,000, yes, that's right, $95,000, for a single coin. It's incredible to think that a coin originally minted with a face value of just 1 cent could appreciate to such a staggering amount. The rarity of the mint-markless variety, combined with the increasing interest from collectors, has contributed to its rising value. For anyone who stumbles across one of these rare pennies in their collection, it could be the find of a lifetime. So, if you're sorting through old pennies or you have a collection that's been passed down through the generations, it's definitely worth taking a second look at any 1970 pennies you might have. If you find one that doesn't have the mint mark and it's in great condition, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. Third expensive coin, we have something truly special to discuss. The United States Liberty 1-cent coin from 1967 is a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but it has quite a remarkable story, and its value could just surprise you. If you've ever wondered how certain coins can become so valuable over time, this 1967 penny might be the perfect example of how history and rarity come together to create something extraordinary. Let's set the stage for a moment. The year 1967 was a significant one in the United States. The country was in the midst of a cultural revolution, with the 1960s being a decade filled with social change, protests, and groundbreaking movements. The civil rights movement was in full swing, and the space race was reaching its peak with the United States working toward putting a man on the moon. Amid all of this change, the U.S. Mint was busy at work producing coins for circulation, including the iconic 1-cent coin that was still bearing the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's image, designed by Victor D. Brenner, has been featured on the obverse of the 1-cent coin since 1909. This design has become a symbol of not just the penny, but also of American unity, leadership, and freedom. Lincoln's legacy as the 16th president, leading the nation through the Civil War and abolishing slavery, has cemented him as one of the most revered figures in American history. His portrait on the penny has been unchanged for decades and remains one of the most recognized designs in the world. On the reverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which has been featured since 1959. The memorial is a powerful symbol of Lincoln's leadership and his lasting impact on the United States. This design evokes a sense of reverence and admiration for Lincoln, and it's fitting that it's been the hallmark of the penny for over half a century now. While the design of the 1967 penny may seem like business as usual, the value of this coin is anything but ordinary. One of the key factors that contribute to the value of any coin is its rarity, and this is where the 1967 penny stands out. In 1967, the United States Mint was producing coins in large quantities, and billions of pennies were made to meet the demand for everyday transactions. But as time passed, many of these coins became worn, damaged, and lost in circulation. However, not all coins from this year were used in circulation. Some were saved and preserved by collectors, and it is these carefully preserved examples that hold the most value today. What makes the 1967 penny especially valuable is the fact that a small number of these coins were produced with a particular variety that has since become highly sought after. While the vast majority of 1967 pennies were minted in the standard copper composition, there are a few that were struck using a different metal. This change in composition happened due to a shortage of copper at the time, and the mint began experimenting with using zinc-coated steel for pennies. However, only a small fraction of these zinc-coated steel pennies were actually produced in 1967, and they are the ones that collectors are after. These rare 1967 pennies, made of zinc-coated steel, are considered an era variety, and they are extremely hard to find. The minting process for these coins was not entirely consistent, and a few of the steel pennies made it into circulation while the rest of the mintage continued with the standard copper penny. The error occurred because the mint had already begun using zinc-coated steel for the 1943 pennies, but by 1967, copper was back in full supply. The mistake of mixing the two metals led to a small number of zinc-coated steel pennies being produced. These errors were not caught immediately and made their way into circulation, but most of them have since been lost or damaged. Now, let's talk about why this particular 1967 penny is so valuable to collectors. Coins in excellent condition, especially those from a unique era variety like this, are incredibly rare. Most of the zinc-coated steel pennies were heavily circulated, which means they've been worn down or damaged over time. But if you happen to come across a 1967 penny in great condition, especially one that has been carefully preserved and remains in uncirculated or near mint condition, you could be holding something truly valuable. The rarity of these era coins is compounded by the growing interest in them among collectors. As fewer of these 1967 zinc-coated steel pennies are found in circulation or in people's collections, their value continues to rise. In fact, if you have one of these rare 1967 pennies, especially if it's in pristine condition, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. So, what exactly is the value of a 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin today? Well, if you have an era coin, a 1967 penny made of zinc-coated steel, and it's in outstanding condition, you could be looking at a staggering value. A coin in excellent, uncirculated condition could fetch $110,000, yes, that's right, $110,000. It's incredible to think that a coin originally minted with a face value of just 1 cent could appreciate in value to such an extent. The rarity of this era variety, combined with the growing interest in collecting rare coins, has made the 1967 penny a highly desirable piece for numismatists and collectors alike. If you happen to find one of these rare 1967 zinc-coated steel pennies, make sure to treat it with the utmost care. Store it properly, keep it in a safe place, and if you're unsure about its authenticity or value, consider consulting with a professional coin appraiser. You could be holding onto a small fortune. Last unique coin, we've got a truly fascinating coin to explore. The 1966 United States Liberty 1-cent coin may appear like any other penny at first glance, but as we'll see, this small piece of history holds great value and significance that might surprise you. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's take a deep dive into the story behind this particular penny and discover what makes it so valuable in the world of numismatics. The year 1966 was an exciting time in America, filled with cultural shifts, political movements, and groundbreaking achievements. It was a year that saw significant change in many areas of life, from the space race to civil rights progress. The country was evolving rapidly. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was at work creating millions of pennies, including the 1966 1-cent coin, which was destined to find its way into the hands of everyday Americans. But little did they know that this very coin would later be sought after by collectors, historians, and numismatists alike. The design of the 1966 Liberty 1-cent coin is something that we're all familiar with, the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This portrait, created by Victor D. Brenner, has been featured on the U.S. penny since 1909 and continues to be one of the most recognizable images in American currency. Lincoln, the 16th president, led the country through its Civil War and remains one of the most revered figures in U.S. history. His image on the penny symbolizes the unity and strength of the nation he helped preserve. On the reverse side of the 1966 penny, we find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been on the reverse of the penny since 1959. The memorial, located in Washington, D.C., stands as a tribute to Lincoln's legacy and serves as a powerful symbol of the nation's respect for his leadership. The memorial has appeared on the back of the penny for over 6 decades, and it is an iconic representation of American history. So, what makes the 1966 penny stand out from other years, especially considering the fact that billions of pennies were minted in the mid-1960s? The answer lies in the rarity and condition of certain 1966 pennies. While most of the 1966 pennies were circulated and have been heavily worn over time, there are a few key factors that make this coin especially valuable for collectors. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1966 penny is the presence of a rare error that occurred during its minting. As many of you may know, the U.S. Mint can sometimes make mistakes during the production of coins, leading to variations that make a coin more unique and valuable. In the case of the 1966 penny, a small number of these coins were mistakenly struck on copper planchets that were intended for other types of coins. This error resulted in a small number of 1966 pennies being made of a different metal composition than what was originally intended. The U.S. Mint primarily used a copper composition for pennies in the 1960s, but due to a shortage of copper, there was a brief experiment in 1965 to switch to a copper-clad steel composition. By 1966, the Mint had returned to using copper for the production of pennies. However, a few of the 1966 pennies were struck on leftover copper-clad steel planchets. These error coins, featuring the incorrect metal composition, are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Finding one of these 1966 pennies with the wrong metal composition is a rare and exciting discovery. But the rarity doesn't stop there. The condition of the coin is also a huge factor in its value. Most of the 1966 pennies that were circulated have been subject to wear and tear over the years, which significantly reduces their value. However, finding a 1966 penny in excellent or uncirculated condition can make a huge difference. The coin's condition, free from scratches, stains, and other signs of wear, greatly increases its desirability and value to collectors. Now, let's get to the exciting part: how much is this coin actually worth? If you happen to have one of these 1966 era pennies in excellent condition, you're sitting on a rare treasure. The value of this coin can be significant, especially if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. In fact, a 1966 Liberty 1-cent coin that has been struck on the incorrect planchet could fetch an astonishing $130,000. Yes, that's right, $130,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but it's true. A coin that was once worth only 1 cent could be worth a small fortune today, all because of a minting error and its rarity. It's truly incredible how a coin with such a humble beginning can become so valuable over time. If you're a collector, or even if you've just come across some old pennies, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine any 1966 pennies you might have. You never know, you could be holding a coin that's worth a fortune. The 1966 penny serves as a perfect example of why coin collecting is so exciting. A simple mistake during the minting process, combined with the passage of time, has turned this coin into a highly coveted piece of history. The rarity of the 1966 era penny, combined with its historical significance, has made it a prized possession for collectors, and its value continues to rise as more people discover its worth. So, if you have a 1966 penny in your collection, don't just toss it aside thinking it's worth a mere cent. Take a closer look, and if you find one of these rare error coins in great condition, you could be holding on to an incredible treasure. Who knows? You could be the lucky owner of a coin worth $130,000. Thanks for joining us on this exciting coin journey. If you enjoyed learning about the 1966 Liberty 1-cent coin and its value, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos on rare and valuable coins. Happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value.